I'm 17 years old, and yep, I still like cartoons. Literally, the two Avatar series and Phineas and Ferb are two of my favorite shows of all time. Yeah, they're for kids, but they're amazing. Somehow, I feel like some cartoons just get me. And if a cartoon is well written and well made, I'm immediately drawn to it. DreamWorks' Trollhunters, which was released as a Netflix original show, started out that way. My two brothers and I found the show on Netflix and we thought, man, this looks really good. It's an urban fantasy series that looks appropriate for little kids. Looks great. The series was created by Guillermo del Toro, who is a very famous filmmaker. It was nominated for 9 Emmys, it looks like, and it won 3 of them. And it was nominated for 4 Annie Awards, and it won 3 of them as well. And it got renewed for a second season right after it came out. So yeah, on paper, it looks like an amazing show. The first episode debuted about a year ago. Basically, the story is about this teenager named Jim Lake who goes to high school, has a pretty normal life, until he gets chosen by this amulet to become the next troll hunter. Basically, you discover there's an entire world of trolls living underneath our world, and they are constantly fighting against these bad trolls that are trying to take over the world. He's the next troll hunter, which means he's the next chosen fighter to fight the bad trolls in the darkness, basically. And he's the first human to be a troll hunter ever. All of the other troll hunters in the past have been trolls, obviously. I believe they say he's the first human to ever discover the trolls. So yeah, it's really interesting, has kind of that chosen one vibe. It's a very, very good urban fantasy setting. He also has a best friend that's a really good sidekick, and a love interest that plays into the story a lot later in the season. We started watching it, and I loved it. It was so good. For a while, it was my new favorite animated show. It was that good. Until about halfway through the first season. Then it kind of went off the rails. The story that had been established throughout the first half of the season, the thing that you thought was going to be the arc throughout the entire season, all of a sudden gets resolved, and there's still 13 episodes left. This is all in one season, season 1. The story thread just gets resolved, and another one is started, but it's just kind of out of nowhere. It felt like it was setting it up for the rest of the season, but then it just ends and a whole new main villain is added and everything just changes. And plus the second story thread wasn't even as good. After that, it was not my favorite new animated show. The whole story arc that they set up at the beginning of the season is that basically the leader of the bad trolls is banished into this other realm, the dark realm or something like that. And his son is trying to build this bridge that creates a portal to let him back into the world and then lead all the bad trolls to take over the world again. It's really interesting because Jim's principal is also a bad guy. There's a lot of different changeling things, shapeshifters. Jim has to learn how to be the troll hunter throughout this whole thing. It's kind of a training type. He's having to train on the job basically as he's trying to stop all these bad things from happening. It's a really interesting story and it's really, really good for the first half of the season. Okay, I'm gonna give a spoiler alert for this first season now, okay? It's been out for a year. Don't feel bad about doing this, okay? I just want to review this season because I'm really frustrated about this. The show is so good. So good for the first like 13 episodes. Then the story gets resolved. The bridge that was being built gets destroyed. The son of the big baddie who's trying to build the bridge gets killed. It's like, oh, okay. That's the end, I guess. But they don't end the season. They add another whole story. The principal, who is another bad guy, who's a shapeshifter who can shapeshift into he's really a bad troll, but he can shapeshift into a human form, and he's the principal of Jim's school. He starts out as a history teacher, then he becomes the principal. Anyway, he basically all this time has had his own plans to take over the world. Now he becomes the main villain, and he enlists the help of Angor. He's like an ancient troll that's like too dangerous. Both sides generally don't use him because he's so evil and stuff like that. It's really weird, but he uses his help on his side to be like an assassin to try to kill Jim. Sounds good, but it's really just, it's not as good as the first half of the season. Also, halfway through the season, they discover that Jim's love interest little brother is actually a changeling, and the real little brother is in this dark realm or whatever, so they have to go and save him. It's just really weird. Why have one season of 26 episodes and like have the conflict get resolved halfway through and then keep going with the first season? That doesn't make any sense. I would have felt way better about this if they would have had one season of 13 episodes, that whole entire like arc, then have the second season be the last 13 episodes of the season. Like, that makes way more sense. And the second half of the season's episodes were not as good, but I would have felt way better about it if it was just like, oh, the second season isn't as good as the first season. Okay, whatever. I'm just frustrated just because it was so good. The first half of the season was so good. It confuses me. It's one of those things that I've never experienced before, where a show halfway through a season will just all of a sudden change. You know, it just doesn't, to me it doesn't make any sense, and it almost makes me think, it made me feel like they were just writing the show as it went along. Like they didn't plan out the whole season before. They just kind of wrote the show as each episode came out, and then they're like, well, we reached the end of that. What do we want to do next? Like, it doesn't, it seems like poor writing is what it seems like to me, or at least poor planning. I don't know. Maybe this frustrates me too much, and I'm really ranting about nothing. They ended this season with a cliffhanger, with Jim, who's going to get Claire, his love interest, his brother, and gonna take on the big bad guy in the Dark Realm. I hope the second season's good. I do. If the second season is good and it adds to the second half of the first season, then I'll probably enjoy the whole first season as a whole better. But they're really gonna have to redeem that second half of the first season, because to me it didn't make any sense. You probably could have just skipped over that whole second half and gone straight into the cliffhanger at the end of the first season into the second season. Like, if you really think about it, they really could have just done that. Because as far as Claire's brother goes, being in the Darklands, they basically sent someone in there to go see if he's there, and then just sat on it. Like, so many episodes went by without like the reveal to the characters. They just sat on that plot point and just waited and waited and waited to stretch the story out. And I don't think that made any sense. All in all, to me, first half of the season was really good. Second half of the season felt like it was really poorly planned out and really poorly written. Hopefully, the second season is good. I just wanted to get my opinion out about this show, because it seems like I haven't seen any videos about this show, and you know, it's something that I enjoyed, but also had a big opinion on. So yeah, I think I've ran out of rant power for this one. Once I get to the point that I'm just saying the same thing over and over again, that's when I know I'm good. I should just stop recording. I'm done. I've said everything I want to say. Before this video ends though, I do want to talk about something. For this whole episode, my microphone has been sitting on this book. I got this book for my birthday. It is Cinemaps, an atlas of 35 great movies by Andrew DeGraff. It's really cool. I'm a big film nerd. This is not a sponsored video, although that'd be super awesome, but it's not. It's basically maps of where all the characters go in movies. So like, this is Return of the Jedi. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's pretty cool. So it like shows where all the characters go, and then there's these essays about the films that you can read while looking at the maps. And there's a lot of cool insight in there that I've never thought of before. The maps are super cool. They're all hand painted, like they were hand painted and then scanned to put in the book. Yeah, there's 35 movies. They're all awesome. You got like Back to the Future, King Kong, Wizard of Oz, Star Wars A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Jurassic Park, Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Lord of the Rings map is giant. It's so cool. Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Trek. It's awesome. So yeah, that's just something that I wanted to talk about because I think it's super awesome and I got it for my birthday. Yeah, so if you're a film nerd like me, check it out. You'll love it. It's super cool. Yeah, so that's about it for this week. If you like this video of me talking in circles over and over again, saying the same things about this show, you should like, comment, and subscribe. On my video bumper at the end, it says I post videos every week. That's a lie. I actually post about once every 3 weeks. But I really enjoy ranting to a camera about things that most people don't care about, but I really love films and shows, I guess. Until next time, have a great week. See ya.